Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Explainer. Today we're looking at a story that is, honestly, going to completely challenge what a lot of us thought we knew about American history. We're diving into the day America was overthrown, the hidden story of Wilmington 1898. It's a pretty shocking premise, right? Uncovering this incredibly dark chapter of the past that was, quite literally, deliberately erased from the history books. Okay, let's just jump right into it.
I want you to just take a second and really think about this. Can you imagine a single day in American history when a democratically elected government was overthrown at gunpoint? You know, when we hear a phrase like coup d'etat or violent overthrow, we usually picture it happening in other parts of the world or maybe way back in the distant ancient past. But today, we're confronting a truly staggering reality that happened right here on American soil in 1898 in Wilmington, North Carolina. Section 1. The day America was overthrown. Wilmington, 1898. This is the site of what historians describe as the only successful coup d'etat in American history. Section 2. Anatomy of a coup. The mechanics of the overthrow. Okay, let's dive into this and look at exactly how this violent overthrow was orchestrated. You see, this overthrow didn't just happen by accident. It was a very specific chronological escalation. Step 1 actually began with fear. They laid down this heavy psychological foundation first. Then that fear strategically transitioned into Step 2, which was targeted physical attacks. And finally, Step 3. Chaos absolutely spread across the city, creating this massive power vacuum where political control was seized by absolute force. It's literally a step-by-step progression from emotion to violence to total political conquest.
Now, you might be wondering, who exactly was targeted during that second step? Well, the attacks were incredibly directed and purposeful. They were aimed squarely at black leaders, black-owned businesses, and a very prominent black newspaper. So they were essentially assaulting the very pillars of community leadership, economic independence, and the free press, all at once. Section 3. Planned and brutally effective. Dispelling the riot myth. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it frames the true nature of this historical event.
For a really long time, this historical violence has sort of been minimized. It was talked about as just spontaneous or unpredictable chaos, just a random riot. But the source material for this event emphatically rejects that idea. To actually understand what happened in Wilmington in 1898, the text points out that we have to recognize it for what it truly was. Not a spontaneous riot, but a planned, calculated coup.
It was planned.
It was calculated. Just a totally cold, strategic methodology where absolutely every single target was chosen for a specific reason.
And it was brutally effective. The immediate success of this coup was just undeniable. And it left a really deep scar, not just on this one city, but honestly, on the very foundation of American democracy itself.
Section 4. The erasure of memory. The secondary crime. So let's transition into the aftermath and look at the long-term historical impact of this cover-up.
This might actually be the most shocking part of the entire story. For decades, this event was barely even mentioned in history books, and it was largely forgotten by the general public. Really think about that for a second. The only successful coup d'etat in American history was simply omitted from our collective memory. It was just hidden from public consciousness for generations. It's like it never even happened. The sheer gravity of this cover-up is summarized so perfectly in this quote from the text. Because when history is hidden, the greatest crime isn't just the violence, it's the erasure of memory. To be forced to forget is kind of like a violence all its own, right? It deprives all of us of understanding our past and learning the absolutely crucial lessons that those events carry.
Which leaves us with a pretty vital question to ponder as we wrap up this explainer. If an event as massive as the violent overthrow of an elected government could be erased from the history books for decades, what other hidden chapters of America's past have been completely erased from our memory? We really have to challenge ourselves to seek out those hidden stories. Thank you so much for joining me in breaking down this material today. Keep learning, keep asking questions, and I'll see you in the next explainer.